Right, so today we have another one of them topics where you might leave this video feeling a little bit enraged, but at this point, it's not really uncommon, is it? Because TikTok is actually filled with videos that after you watch them, you just sit there and think, I can't believe people actually act like this. But let's add some context to this situation, and the chances are you've probably already seen this because it has genuinely blew up on TikTok. I know I say that quite a lot, but the views on this is a bit mental. Like, for example, even though the original video is deleted, the update video has 11.2 million views, meaning the original video probably has a lot more. I assume it got taken down by TikTok. I don't think she would have deleted it because, like I said, she's obviously uploaded update videos, so it has probably been taken down. But either way, the TikToker we're talking about today is someone called josephinealarie. And she recently uploaded a video talking about her experience that she had on a train and actually showed the situation that happened. And like I said before, the original video is now deleted. I do have an archive of it, so we can watch it here. It's 8 minutes long, and it starts off with her showing a clip of what you can expect later on.
Me. You're getting your fucking shoes off. Stop it.
Yeah, so as you can tell, it doesn't exactly seem like the most calming situation to be in. It literally is a video of her sat in her seat on a train, and a random woman is just putting her feet in her non-stop. For some reason. I mean, we learn more throughout the video. So in the explanation, she starts off by saying that she takes this exact same train journey pretty much every night.
Every single night at 9:50, I head to work. Mind you, I live in Harlem, New York City, and my job is in Connecticut. So I gotta take the Metro North to go to Connecticut for my job every single night. Per usual, on my route home, I hop on the train. At this time of the night, it is always pretty packed, so I gotta go to the first few train cars in order to find a seat. It was slim pickings because, again, it was busy. So I decided to sit in front of this older lady.
Which just so happened to be one of the biggest mistakes she's probably ever made. Because as she goes on to say, this lady asked if she could move, to which Josephine said that she's not moving.
The second I sit down, she leans into me and goes, "Can you move to the seat next to you?" And I look at her puzzled and I'm like, why? She goes, "Because I want my feet where you're sitting." I didn't answer. I just looked at her, kind of like. She goes, "So, are you gonna move?" And I looked at her, I said, no, I'm not moving. She's like, why not?
Yeah, so as you can probably tell, the situation starts off for very petty reasons. So Josephine says that she got on the train, she sat in this seat. At the time when she went to go and sit down, this lady was just sat like normally in a chair with her legs crossed like behind a chair. And then Josephine sits down. But as soon as she sits down, this lady says, "Oh, actually, can you move? Because I want to put my feet there." Now, first things first, I'm pretty sure, or at least in the UK, I'm pretty sure, you're not allowed to put your feet on the chairs anyways. And regardless if it's a rule or not, it's just kind of like common etiquette. You shouldn't really put like your dirty shoes on the seat where people are going to be sitting. But secondly, at this point, you would assume that because Josephine isn't moving, this lady would no longer put her feet on the chair because she wouldn't be putting her feet on the chair, she'd be putting her on an actual person. But that is not what happens here. In fact, this lady goes on to basically harass Josephine on this train journey.
So as she's sliding down the seat, she is now sliding so her feet are invading my personal space. And she is now touching me with her feet against my legs. And I thought at first it was an accident. Thought nothing of it. I was like, okay, maybe she just doesn't realize how close she is to me. I bring it up to her and I ask her, I was like, "Sorry, ma'am, but you were touching me. I would really appreciate if you would not do that." She said, "Oh, well, you're sitting where I want my feet, so I'm going to continue to touch you until you move."
Yeah, I mean, that's just not how it works. Like, you are literally on public transport, you know? If you want like a private suite where you can put your legs anywhere you want, get a different mode of transport. Now, if I'm completely honest, if I was Josephine in this situation, I would have just moved because I couldn't be arsed with like dealing with anything like this. I would just go and sit somewhere else. But also on the other hand, like I just said, they're on public transport. She can sit where she wants. As long as you're not sat on somebody, she's fine.
I say, "I'm becoming very uncomfortable. I would really appreciate if you moved your feet and stopped touching me." She again said, she's like, "I'm going to do what I want because you're sitting where my feet should go."
You're sitting where my feet should go. I mean, that just doesn't make sense in the slightest, does it? Because that is definitely not where your feet should go. In fact, if it was where your feet should go, they wouldn't put the chairs like that on a train. You know how on a train you have seats that face each other? Wouldn't be like that if you didn't have room to put your legs. And also, if you're the one who's pissed off with the seating arrangement, you should probably be the one who moves.
Picks up her one foot, puts it to the left of me on my thigh, and is now wrapping her foot around my ankle. So clearly, because she's old, she must have not heard me the first 2 to 3 times I had asked her to please stop touching me and leave me in my space alone. So now I'm yelling. So now everyone on the train can hear the situation because you're not going to make me uncomfortable like that, and you're not going to invade my personal space and harass me.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it's someone who's just incredibly entitled and for some reason wants to just try and make someone's day that bit worse on public transport. I don't understand it. But Josephine then goes on to explain that she's now taking her foot from the side of her to actually on her leg, and goes on to show video proof of this.
Long time and she just
That's why.
I mean, look where her foot is. How disgusting is that? You can't just put your dirty shoes that have been walking all around, well, New York in this case, on someone's leg. That is so grim. And I mean, the fact that she said that this is where my leg should go, look how uncomfortable she is sitting right now. I refuse to believe that that is comfy for her. She is doing everything in her power to make this be as uncomfortable for Josephine as possible. I mean, she's barely even on the seat at this point.
You were actually harassing me. You were touching me without my consent. Do you realize that?
I'm sorry, sweetheart.
Oh, how disgusting then. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I mean, you're not sorry because you had to move your foot, but again, she's just being so, like, condescending for no reason.
I decided to sit here. Your feet were in your space. Please, thank you.
I think you should stop the train for her.
You decided to move your feet and touch me. Get your feet off of me! How fucking dare you? You're 75? You should be fucking ashamed of yourself. You were acting like a child.
Yeah, I mean, she is definitely acting like a child, and in fact, that would be insulting to children. Like, I'm just so confused what would really possess a person to act like this on a train. Like, do you not just want to chill and, like, get the journey over and done with so you can go home? And one thing I will say is, right, the gap between these chairs that are, like, opposite each other looks like a much bigger gap than the trains in the UK. It could just be, like, the camera angle, maybe the lens, but it does look like a big old gap. I mean, she can barely reach the other side. She's literally hanging off the chair to reach the other side. It looks like a big gap. There is plenty of room for your legs. And like I said earlier, if this was me in this situation, I would just move because I just wouldn't want to put up with any of this. But realistically, the right thing to do would be that she moves because she's the one causing the problem. She's the one who's so arsed about where she's putting her fucking legs and hanging off the chair and doing fucking acrobatics just to annoy somebody. Like, she should be the one who moves.
You have the whole train to sit on, but you want to sit with me? And
These are empty seats. There's plenty of space. You did not decide to do this until I sat here. You were the one causing the issue. You decided that you were all high and mighty. You got to sit in your high pedestal. And when I decided to come sit here, you decided to cause the problem. And you were still touching me.
It looks like, I don't know if she's just on a phone, but it also looks like she's recording this Josephine angry. I wonder where she's posting this to. I wonder if she has a TikTok account. It would be great to have the other POV, but I feel like maybe when she got home, she probably watched this video and thought, oh fuck, actually, I look pretty bad in this door now.
if you continue to sit there, I will. If you move, you'll be fine. Look at all the seats right there.
Okay, so she's saying, look at all the seats around here, you can move. Again, she's the one with the problem. She should be the one who moves. Unless Josephine is doing something wrong here, then yeah, I get it. If she's doing something wrong, she can move. But she's just sitting down on a seat in public transport. And it's obviously hard to tell from this angle, like, how many seats there actually is on this train. Josephine did say that this train is very busy at this time, so maybe there's not that many. Apparently, according to this woman, there is a few there, but either way, again, she is the one with the problem. She should move.
You are the one who was harassing me. You were touching me without my consent. You're touching me. Get the fuck off of me.
I mean, how disgusting is she, man? Like, look at the state of that. Actually putting a foot on a lap like that. That's so grim.
Stop it.
I mean, can you actually believe that? I mean, a full-grown adult in general, but also someone who's obviously an older woman would act like this. You have all the life experience in the world. You know what's right and wrong. And for some reason, you're acting like a 5-year-old. It's so embarrassing.
What's the issue? Your feet are still right there. Like my feet here, they're in my space. You're taking up the entire area. This does not belong to you. That seat you paid for does. Not right here. This is where I paid for so I can sit.
I mean, yeah, she's right. Clearly, she's very angry, but she's right when much is saying you pay for your seat. And you sit in your seat. If she is so pissed off in the fact that someone could sit opposite her, she should sit in one of the seats that aren't opposite each other. I mean, again, I don't really know how it works in American trains, but in the UK, you have these seats that are opposite each other, and then you have the seats that aren't, that are like, just normal seats, right? Like, there are so many options that this woman could do to solve this situation that she has in her head that don't involve harassing a stranger on a public transport, but she refused to do any of them.
When I put my feet up, I'm going to put them up.
No, the fuck you're not. And I hope he's got a cop on the train. Yeah.
Right, so she put some text on the screen saying, at this point I have my hands over my head and I'm trying to focus on my breath because I feel like I'm about to have a panic attack. And yeah, clearly she's getting very overwhelmed about the situation while this woman is just incredibly smug.
Sorry that this is happening. No, you can't be mad. I'm not that sorry.
I mean, she is so unlikable, isn't she? She's going like, do you want some crackers? Like, while the fucking train conductors who clearly came over, because she just spoke to them. Like, she's trying to come across as like a nice person all of a sudden.
She's fine now. She's calmed down.
Oh, I mean, like, even the way she is speaking there, like, she's fine now, she's calmed down. It's either, like, a manipulation tactic to make the person think that she's in the wrong, right? That Josephine's in the wrong, or she's just being condescended again. It's one or the other.
No, I'm still not okay. I'm just trying to have an anxiety attack. Please.
You just have to separate, that's all. It's all good.
I'm gonna put my feet up eventually. She's not gonna like it if she doesn't move. But right now we're fine.
Are you allowed to do that on American trains? Maybe it's not even a rule in the UK. I feel like it definitely is, or at least it's just like an unwritten rule that people just abide by. But I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to put your feet on the seats on trains, or at least it should be a rule, because that's a bit grim, innit?
So the situation had escalated to the point where the conductor grabbed the cops because what I was doing clearly wasn't doing anything. I know. But I am a person who has very severe anxiety, so I was getting to the point where I was having a panic attack. The police came and was trying to talk to me, and I gotta say thank you to the woman that was sitting behind that hag who stood up and told the cops what was happening, because I was in full-blown panic attack mode. I couldn't verbalize anything, and whilst I'm having a panic attack and I can't speak, I'm crying because I'm overwhelmed, this lady is mocking me for being anxious and talking shit while I'm trying to talk to the cops about what's going on and what she's doing to me and how she's harassing me and even probably even assaulting me at that point.
Yeah, so as she goes on to say, luckily another person who was on the train stood up for her with the cops, but at the end of the day, they're probably not going to do anything about a situation like this, and in fact, they don't.
But it got to the point where they ended up diffusing the situation as best as they could. She pretty much got a slap on her fucking wrist of don't do it again, and they walked me to a different area to sit instead of removing her from the situation.
I mean, so the outcome of this is that Josephine got moved to a different seat. That is so bizarre. You know, the one person in the situation that wasn't causing the problem, they got her to move, which I don't understand. Now, like I mentioned before, Josephine did upload an update to this video that's on 11.5 million views. I would love to know how many views the original video got, because clearly millions upon millions of people saw this. But in Josephine's update, she goes on to say that she does know the name of the person who did this, but the police can't do anything about it.
I found out who the woman was. I have her name. And with that information, plus having my video of proof, I went to the police to try and file a report for harassment and assault. Unfortunately, they said that they can't do anything to help me.
Yeah, I mean, that just doesn't surprise me, unfortunately. Like, that is the outcome that I would expect from that.
The fact that she did not inflict any physical harm on me. I'm not hurt. She did not harass me, saying she wanted to unalive me, or anything malicious in that sense. That was a deep verbal threat, essentially. And they said that, technically speaking, it is out of their jurisdiction as NYPD to handle the situation because there are police officers on the MTA North trains that deal with things like that. So if I was overlooked by the police officers on the train and they did nothing in the situation, then that is what it is, essentially. They're like, we can't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, like I just said, it's unfortunate, but that is definitely what I would expect to happen. The police wouldn't deal with a situation like this. But as Josephine did mention in that video, she does have the name of this person. So as you can imagine, in the comment section, people are saying, like, post a name, we need to know a name, like, there'll be some sort of justice, all this type of stuff. To which Josephine uploaded another update video explaining why she's not going to post a name.
Honestly, I can't argue. I can't argue with this because justice should be served, but I can't be the one to give you a name because that would be improper of me. And I say that because not everybody, but there are people who would probably take this to an extreme, and I don't want any threats. I don't want any unaliving threats. I don't want people harassing her because two rights don't make a wrong. So on my end, I don't want anything coming back to me that is ill if my intentions are not ill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very fair and responsible point from her part. Like, even though this woman was acting in a horrible, horrible way on this train, she doesn't want to reveal the name in case, like, it escalates, right? Fair enough. Now, because this is the internet, I give it probably like a couple more days before people do find out who it is. I'm surprised it hasn't actually been found yet. But I'm pretty sure people will find out eventually. Hopefully people don't just send like horrible, disgusting threats and messages to this woman. That is bang out of order. But yeah, like I mentioned, it wouldn't surprise me if people did find out who it was. But yeah, that is the situation to what we know right now. This is all just within the past few days. And yeah, I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below on everything that I spoke about in today's video. Also, before I end the video, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone who donated to the fundraiser that we're doing for Encephalitis International. We're doing a charity football match, in case you didn't see my last video, in memory of one of my closest friends who passed away last year. And I mentioned in my last video, and a lot of people donated. I think it went from us having like 20 odd donations to like 170 or something like that, which is mental. So thank you very much to everyone who donated. It means the world. I'm going to leave the link in the description again to the fundraiser in case you didn't see my last video and you want to help out. It could literally be $1, $5, $10, anything you can afford. And of course you don't have to if you can't afford it. But it's there in the link in the description. And yeah, I'm going to leave the video there. So if you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, all that stuff. And until next one, I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, goodbye.